It was called the Lover's Lane murders, one of Houston's most infamous crimes that remains unsolved.
But just because a case is cold doesn't mean it's forgotten. Here's Sherman Chow with how police are using new technology that could help put together the missing pieces.
Cheryl Henry and Andy Atkinson, young and in love. It was the summer of 1990.
She died when she was 23. And so she's been gone longer than she was alive.
27 years later, the tears still flow easily. On August 22nd, the couple had parked off Enclave near Eldridge, then nicknamed Lover's Lane. When Cheryl didn't come home that morning, her family called police. Shortly afterwards, someone called them, a security guard.
I found her purse and shoes in a car, in a white car.
Just 10 minutes later, relatives and friends were at the parkway, well before Houston police. And when the dogs found Cheryl, officers had to keep her mother back.
To this day, Sherman, I know that if they had let me go to Cheryl, I would have breathed into her and she'd be alive.
Cheryl had been raped, her throat cut. 21-year-old Andy was tied to a tree and nearly decapitated. Today, a drone shows Enclave Parkway as a well-developed business corridor with parking garages and mid-rises where Andy and Cheryl's bodies were found. Very different from August of 1990. This is what it looked like then from a police helicopter. The bodies were left along the southern tree line. This case now belongs to HPD Detective Darkus Shorten.
Using a knife shows that it's personal to me.
As does hiding Cheryl's body underneath some wooden boards. Then Andy's golf balls and clubs that had been in the trunk of his car were lined up pointing to Cheryl's body.
I'm concealing it, but not enough that you cannot find her. In other words, I want him to be found. You know, the offender may have known Cheryl.
So Detective Shorten is trying something different.
Familiar DNA is something new.
Suppose investigators have a potential suspect, but not enough evidence to compel a DNA sample. But a relative of that suspect will share his DNA with police, and enough genetic markers match to show a relationship.
That individual profile could be used as probable cause to go and get a DNA sample from the actual targeted person.
While investigators await those results, DNA testing has already made one important, though very late, link. 2 months before the murders, an exotic dancer was raped in North Harris County. With DNA testing expensive and in its infancy, it would take 17 years before that sample was run. It turned out to be a match to the Lover's Lane killer. The rape victim helped generate this sketch of her attacker, which was also aged. Something else that stood out?
He had a very forceful military-type stance about himself.
There remain many other bizarre twists to this case.
$20 bill by the body.
Could the killer have frequented clubs where tipping was common?
Very odd. That is a puzzle to me.
Father's Day in 1990, last Father's Day together.
For Cheryl's family, the photos and mementos, the good memories, are increasingly precious.
This is her ring.
And her watch. It gives Barbara comfort to wear them and to see Cheryl in heaven.
And in my mind, I can see Cheryl holding other people, other angels, because they were traumatized too, and lets them know that they're fine now.
Cheryl was the oldest of 6 children. Barbara needed to raise her other 5 children, and that may have helped save Barbara's life. If you think you can help, please contact Houston Police.